Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. My name is Ash, aka I'm Ghostbuster, and today I'm doing a quick review for Moonrise Fall on the Nintendo Switch. Now, this was made by indie developer Made From Strings, and I believe it's their first game, which is pretty awesome. Now, the game released onto the Switch pretty recently, and it's also out on Steam, and the developer has posted up on social media that it will be coming out onto other platforms in the future, so fingers crossed it comes to Xbox and PlayStation. And I didn't know what to expect going into this game. It's a sort of 2D pixel art style game, and I thought it was going to be a bit more sort of like RPG-esque than it actually is. In aspect, it pretty much isn't. Now, in Moonrise Fall, you play a boy who wakes up after a car crash which kills both his parents, and you're sort of lost in this sort of creepy supernatural forest, and you basically have to sort of figure out what's happened. Now, you have a few things at your disposal there to progress your way through the story, and yeah, it's really cool. So first off, the game looks fantastic. It features an absolutely gorgeous pixel art style, and it has a really nice sort of like haunting soundtrack. Now, on the Switch store, it does state that it has a music system that generates different layers of music and mixes, so it ensures that there's no two playthroughs are the same musically, which I think is pretty cool. I've not been able to try it, I've only played through it the one time. However, I think that is really awesome. Now, I don't want to go too much into the story because that is the whole point of the game. Now, it doesn't play out with loads of dialogue and text and stuff like that. You'll play through and like uncover sort of the truth as you play, and I'll leave that for you guys to find out because, like I say, that is the best part of the game. Now, there's a whole host of different locations you'll find, as well as the forest. There's caves, mines, and sort of like a lumber mill you can explore. They all look absolutely fantastic. Now, the game is very immersive in its world, so it features sort of like rain and wind, and like it just looks great. So, like I say, the sun and the moonrise, there's leaves blowing, all that sort of stuff looks absolutely fantastic. Now, you have a variety of items at your disposal. Now, you start off with a lantern, which is basically a lantern lights the way. You have a journal of from a previous person who's been in this wood, which will help guide you and sort of fill in as you progress it. You have a clock, which you use to manipulate the time. So you will use this clock to change the time to different times of the day, as certain things will only appear or disappear at certain times of the day. So some of the puzzles are linked to the time frame. Now, the game also features a night and day cycle, with the world seamlessly changing between 5 times of day. So it does this on its own, or you can control it, obviously, using the clock. And you have this camera. Now, this camera is used to sort of gather images of these strange creatures that are in the forest, and you basically flick your camera on and take photos to uncover secret things and hidden items and stuff like that, hidden passages. Take photos of these creatures, and they get added to your photo collection in your journal. Now, the game itself features a third-person style perspective. It's from like above looking at you, and it looks great, it plays great. The game does feature a selection of puzzles. It is predominantly sort of like a puzzle game. Now, the puzzles aren't increasingly sort of frustratingly difficult. You'll probably get through them quite easily. You'll figure out what you've got to do. However, there isn't a huge amount of tutorial, like as you're working through. It doesn't really tell you what you've got to do in these puzzles. You've got to sort of work it out yourself. Now, there are some obviously things that are linked to the photography, where you're taking photos of these like ghostly creatures, and you need to use those photos to progress as well. But overall, the game is really, really enjoyable. It's not the longest of games. You're not going to be spending like 40 hours playing it, but it's a simple game with a simple story, but a beautiful graphics, nice mechanics. Like I say, I love the time mechanic and the photograph mechanic. It looks great. It sounds great. You're gonna get sort of 8 to 10 hours out of it, depending on how quickly you play through it. Now, not everything is addressed in the game story-wise. Like I said, the good majority of it is addressed towards the end of the game. There are some sort of left open sort of threads you would probably want to see finished off. Maybe they'll go into it in another game. That'd be nice, because this, like I say, is an absolutely fantastic game. The game is available right now on the Nintendo eShop for £8.99, and you can't complain. Like I say, you're going to get a really fun, really enjoyable, story-driven puzzle game that looks great with its pixel art, sounds great with its creepy sort of atmospheric soundtrack, and it has a very cool sort of premise that'll sort of pull you in as you sort of discover and uncover exactly what's going on as you sort of investigate your surroundings. So I highly recommend checking this game out. Like I say, it's a solid 8 out of 10 from me. Looking forward to it coming to other consoles in the future. Fingers crossed for Xbox. I would definitely play it again on Xbox if it had achievements. And yeah, honestly, it's underrated. I've not seen a lot of people talking about this. I don't see a lot of videos and reviews and articles about it. It seems to have sort of slipped under the radar. So check it out. Like I say, it's from the developer Made from Strings, and like I say, they were kind enough to send me a copy of this game for this review, so I'm very appreciative of that. And also, if you really like the soundtrack, you can buy the soundtrack on Steam as DLC. So if you're a PC player, I'd highly recommend checking the soundtrack out, because it is really, really good, and owning it to listen to it another time makes perfect sense. But that's that for this video, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and we'll see you soon for more gaming reviews, news, and content. Bye for now.